After what was a interesting night to say the least in WWE, here are my fresh thoughts on Wrestlemania Night 1. Night 1 of Wrestlemania gets a 2.7 out of 5 stars on the Super Kick scale. So let's see how it all went down. Night started off with the 6-man tag match between IShowSpeed and The Vision versus the Usos and LA Knight. Speed was getting mistreated throughout the entire duration of the match, but it was Austin Theory who would slip up as LA Knight is able to hit the BFT and put it away in swift fashion. Logan Paul had enough of IShowSpeed laying the beat down on the sideline, but the Usos and LA Knight come out to help IShowSpeed, and Speed gets his WrestleMania moment with a massive frog splash from the turnbuckle to the announce desk. That's followed up by the unsanctioned match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, as Drew McIntyre wasn't even able to get in the ring and get the match started before Jacob Fatu starts laying the smackdown on McIntyre and gets out multiple tables and Drew McIntyre's old nemesis, the toolbox. Drew McIntyre had the momentum after throwing Jacob Fatu through a table on the sideline all the way from the top rope, but Jacob Fatu is a crazy man and he gets right back up, smashes McIntyre in the face with the toolbox, and lands the moonsault through the table onto McIntyre, picking up the win. That's followed by the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way between the Irresistible Forces, Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, and the Bella Twins. But as we know, heading into Night 1, Nikki Bella is injured. Who is she replaced by, you may ask? None other than Paige. Paige makes her return on Night 1 of WrestleMania. It was fairly even. It could have gone either way for all 4 teams throughout the entire duration of the match, but it was Nikki Bella from the sidelines hitting Charlotte over the back with the crutch, distracting Alexa Bliss right before she hits the Twisted Bliss. Paige able to get the knees up, lands the Rampage on Bliss, and wins gold in her debut back in a WWE ring. From one solid women's match to another, it's Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch starts back up her rivalry with Jessica Carr. Jessica Carr gets her get back, shoving Becky, as AJ Lee is able to take advantage to land a manhandle slam onto Lynch, but Lynch kicks out. Becky then removes the turnbuckle pad, drags Jessica Carr, colliding with AJ Lee, and as the ref turns a blind eye, she slams Lee into the exposed turnbuckle, and Becky Lynch is able to secure her 3rd Intercontinental Championship. Onto one of the most technically sound matches on the card between the ring general Gunther and Seth freaking Rollins. Seth Rollins looked to have the momentum down the stretch as he slammed Gunther multiple times onto the announce desk with a curb stomp and a pedigree. However, Braun Breaker makes his return with a massive spear to Seth Rollins, providing the favor that Paul Heyman promised. After Gunther is able to secure the win after Braun Breaker's spear with a sleeper hold of his own, putting Seth Rollins to bed, Braun Breaker gets a second crack at Rollins with a massive spear, sprinting down the ramp and putting the entire WWE roster on notice that Braun Breaker is back. Onto one of my most anticipated matches on the card, Liv Morgan taking on Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. This match was as even as could be. until Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez interfere. Raquel was able to distract Vaquer just a little bit for Liv to hit the Oblivion, but Vaquer kicks out. Vaquer then goes high risk to take out Perez and Rodriguez on the sideline, but in the chaos, Liv Morgan able to squeak out and slam Vaquer right into the steel steps. Morgan's able to take advantage, hits a code breaker from the second rope and a second Oblivion to put away Stephanie Vaquer and to be crowned the Women's World Heavyweight Champion. Well, those of you who don't know, you can't spell Wrestlemania without EST, and Bianca Belair makes her return and adds one more guest to the attendance list of WrestleMania Night 1. Bianca Belair is pregnant. We couldn't be happier for the EST. It does mean she's gonna be away from WWE a bit longer than we expected, but all love to one of the top stars in the WWE. That sets up the main event between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Pat McAfee jumps Cody before the bell even rings, giving Randy a head start, but Cody regains his composure, slams Pat on the announce desk, and Jelly Roll puts him through the desk with an elbow drop. Then the match is underway. No Pat, no Jelly Roll, just a slow, methodical match like we were hoping for the last 20 years. So many callbacks in this match. Cody Rhodes landing both an RKO and a draping DDT. Randy Orton with a crossroads of his own. It was bloody, it was gruesome, but after Randy got poked in the eye, he mistaked Charles Robinson for Cody Rhodes and RKO'd Robinson. A new ref was needed, so who'd they send out, you may ask? It's Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee makes his glorious return to the ring, just as every fan wanted. Randy is able to hit an RKO out of nowhere on an attempted Cody cutter, but Cody still kicks out. Randy had enough. He RKO's Pat McAfee, opening the door for Cody Rhodes, who hits a bloody crossroads to retain the undisputed WWE Championship. But Randy Orton is still heel, smashing Cody Rhodes in the face with the belt and punting Cody's skull to the moon. And it would be Randy Orton who stands tall as the lights dimmed, the graphics roll, and night one of WrestleMania comes to a close.